Alrighty, good morning, afternoon, and evening to the lovely cuties of the Hollow Knight community. We are here today for yet another exciting match in our Any Percent tournament. This time we will have a race between two very talented, very experienced runners, Serpin and Slow. My name is Herm. I will be one of your commentators today, and I am joined on the mic by the lovely, the illustrious Overclock.
Hello. Actually, first, Chris, could you update SERP's PB? I believe it's 3317 right now.
According to Serp, it is 3340, based on pre-race
Huh.
interview. Unless she,
According
just got a PB in the
her
last
current
few hours.
split. Oh, wait, no, it's. Okay, she's not actually using her normal splits. Never mind. Oh, so I was looking at the wrong number.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, we apologize for lying on the internet. There's a lot of confusion,
When I
but I
spread
think that
misinformation on the internet.
so true, bestie. I think the thing that is to be emphasized here though is that both of these runners are really strong. Do a ton of practice, have been running this game for a long time. And are both very consistent. So it's going to be a really exciting race. Both of them have been competing since the All Skills tournament in 2021, which was how I started commentating. So just know we're going to see some really seasoned veterans competing today. I know from the pre-race interviews, Serp is somebody who has run pretty much every category under the sun, but has run a lot of 106 in all skills. And according to her interview, Faye said that she picked up this tournament for an excuse to do practice and runs. So that's definitely happening. Um, Slow is also just said this is good motivation to keep going for a PB, and I think that's one of my favorite things about tournaments here is that you do get so many people getting into the category, getting back into the category, and, doing all of it.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite moments from the tournament so far?
That's hard to say.
I
There's a
know.
lot of good moments. A couple of matches ago, I forget which match exactly. Actually, let me check. But a couple of matches ago, we had our closest race of the tourney so far with about a 3-second difference.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was Delta versus Fab.
Oh, wow. 3 seconds, that is amazing.
Okay, we're seeing a restart. Slow's overbind is not working.
Gotcha. Yeah, we should be getting started soon. We've got a countdown from our lovely Chris. This is an excellent time as we're getting started to let the chat know that Chris is our incredibly cute and wonderful restreamer for this stream. Everybody say thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
And we are off to the races, quite literally. We're going to see a KP run of the mill from both runners here as they pogo off of the Vengefly that I personally consider to have the name of Jinky.
Yeah,
And
that is Jenky and Janky, the two Vengeflies.
Jinky and Janky, that is indeed, this is my one naming contribution to the Hollow Knight community, is Jinky and Janky. Because back in the day, I used to say Jinkies all the time. It was like my catchphrase. And Jinky became the Vengefly. But we will see both of them slashing that KP door. Looks like a 51 for slow and a 53 for Serp. Makes sense. There was a little bit of tripping up there, but I mean, this first section is just something that both of these runners have done so many times. I want to ask you, Overclock, what is this mentality that you have when you're going through the early stages of the game, knowing that this probably isn't what is going to shake up the race either way, but it is something you still have to execute so well?
I mean, generally, I'm of the mentality of just not resetting. So my early
Oh,
game is not the
interesting.
best. I
Well, I think at the
I
same
prefer
time, that's interesting. Yeah.
consistency over just resetting a lot for good runs.
Yeah. No, because looking at the interviews with the runners, Slow says that they tend to go for consistency in general, but I know that um, Serp also says that, yeah, I think both of the runners having tournament experience looking at their interviews, I think consistency is something important for both of them, which is something that runners with less experience, especially less tournament experience, can really run into issues with.
Yeah.
Because when you hit points that you can't reset and you don't know backup strats, it can get really messy.
In a tourney setting, it really is all about the consistency. You can have a really good PB, and if you're not consistent, then it's not
Yeah.
actually going to matter too much. So that's
All right.
why it's not always a good thing to judge stuff based on the PBs for these
That's
races.
absolutely correct. My new favorite post match interview question is how many resets do you have in this category? Because it is very interesting. You can have thousands of resets in any percent, but a very small number of finished runs. Because if you reset every time something goes wrong in, the false night split of the game, it's going to be much harder unless you're doing ILs to get practice with late game. When interestingly, Slow has actually stated that late game is his very favorite part of the run. So it will be exciting to see that when we get to it.
I'd agree with Slow, actually. I really like the late game fights.
Chris pointing out the tournament classic 1 HP false knight from Serpy. That is so true. We have both runners making it out of there and heading into Mound for the lovely, lovely Vengeful Spirit that will be our main tool of destruction throughout the run.
Zerp gets Torch Game. Yo.
That is so big. The run has been blessed. Faye has Lady Fortune on their side.
Alright.
Very, very similar times going
Yes.
to the VS.
Slow a couple seconds ahead, I believe.
Correct. But like we've mentioned, I mean, this is a run where for consistent runners, the early game is going to look pretty similar most of the time. And these runners are going to know backups, so if they have to use them, that will lose them some time, but it won't be a deal breaker. When we start getting to, Umu and the like, then we will see the claws of RNG come out.
It's always really interesting to see how high people's frame rates are in A Mound because
Oh,
of
that is so
how
true.
controls work.
Yeah, would
They're
you like to
both-
explain that actually?
So, Boulders will roll a variable distance depending on your frame rate because the amount that they roll is a number of frames instead of a amount of time. So on higher frame rates, you'll see boulders barely roll. And we actually see an example of that with both runners here.
Wait, that's actually very interesting. I wasn't entirely familiar with that. Um, yeah, the roll distance, huh? Oh no, Slow did not get the kill on the
Slow missed
boulders. Just
the boulder.
unfortunate.
Serp almost missed it too, but
Yeah,
she had some extra soul.
close but yes, cigar. And we will be heading into Green Path, the land of taking damage to random stuff whilst you move through. And also the land of 3 very lovely fireball skips, the first of which our runners have already executed.
Well, neither were actually able to execute it because they had.
Wait,
no
you're so right,
soul.
they didn't have soul. I gaslit myself, Overclock. I just was like, yeah, they both got it. They're strong, they're powerful.
Alright, Serp entering. Oh, wait, no. Slow entering the fireball skip first.
Yes.
The screen share is frozen on my end. Yes, sorry.
Not on my end.
Yeah, it's evidently on my end because it's still working on stream.
Interesting.
So, I'm going to be a few seconds behind with my comms for now.
It's okay, we'll
So
have like a
that's weird.
staggered reaction when something crazy happens. It'll just keep the hype up. I see no issue with this. We are just all absolutely synced up, heading towards the first Moss Knight. We're gonna need to go around, and this will not be the last we see of Moss Knights, as we're going to need to go brutalize them for some Geo, as we have to route Geo fairly tightly to be able to get our Shaman Stone before we shade skip to the Blue Lake. But thankfully we do leave Zoe to die. God bless. Yeah, wow, they're like so synced up. It's very wonderful. We will be dispatching the Moss Knights, and then we will be going to dispatch Hornet and finally become capable of doing the thing that all speedrunners want to do, which is go fast. It seems that Overclock, their PC is restarting, so I am alone in the world, but I want all of you to know that you are very cute, and I will do my best to continue commentating on my own. I'm gonna see the Hornet fight now. It's not the worst of the fights in any percent. Hornet can get a little bit annoying if she starts jumping all over the place and becomes difficult to get the soul from that you need to dispatch those VSs. But it seems that Slow has already dispatched her. That was a really nice fight. And Cerpin has gotten rid of Hornet as well, taking that cloak. So both runners grabbing it once again Slow, just a few seconds ahead, but really that time can change hands in any way. Yeah, Chris also pointing out very aptly that Serp's Moss Knight's RNG was worse. Sometimes the way the Moss Knights stand can mean that they take longer to get rid of, which is very unfortunate. But we are going to go and get the other beloved movement item of the any percent run, the Mantis Claw. And this will be a fun little trek through the fungal wastes, involving lovely pogo skips, including E-Pogo, with its many variations, and the ever-fabulous Mantis Pogo, which is really not that fabulous at all, because the Mantises are really annoying, and sometimes they don't let you damage boost into the quit out, which is unfortunate and cruel of them. But hopefully the runners will be treated well by the residents of Mantis Village this time. And Serp, once again, doing the work of the divine, and pointing out that Slow is 5 seconds ahead of Serp at the Mantis Cloak quit out. That Mantis Cloak. Mothwing Cloak. I've got it, everybody. I am doing my best. I am Hermate281, commentating solo. Yeah, we've combined Cloak and Claw into one item. One is the new random mod coming. Randomizer. Now less random, because there's fewer items. And we're gonna see an E-Pogo from Slow. Unfortunately, that is a miss, which, I mean, there's not a huge consequence to missing E-Pogo, but, well, Serp has also missed it, so Slow also seems to miss that second E-Pogo. Serp with the nice, both of them do the nice simple double pogo, a classic strat, very comfy, and both of them are able to get in to the Mantis Village. Hello, welcome back, Overclock. How was your vacation?
We're so back.
We are so back.
PC,
Was it overclocked?
I might need to troubleshoot a bit.
Oh, that's just fine. It seems that both runners are able to get that damage boost, and yeah, we are neck and neck at the quit out. Serp having made up some time because I believe she got the E-Pogo second try and Slow got it third try, if I'm correct on that. Um, super, super close together. Really, this has been a great race so far. Both runners playing very well and adapting to things like that missed Mantis Pogo, the missed E-Pogo. There's too many Pogos and there's too many Mantises. I give up. Um, no, sorry. We're back to Calm Herb now. I've thrown my plushie down. The plushie is back and we're okay. They're going to be heading down to do one of the more annoying tasks that is foisted upon runners of any percent, which is to clean up the Gruzzers after killing Gruzzmother. Hopefully
Yeah,
the cleanup is
sucks.
of the good RNG variety, but it might not be. Sometimes it's tough. Both of them are grabbing the wonderful, wonderful stag that we will need. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. And they will go say hi to Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. On the way to the Grossmother. And here we go, one of the hardest boss fights in Hollow Knight, off to the races for both runners. And they have the exact same Geo as well, pointed out in the chat. This is so true.
There.
Yes, for sure. Let's see how this cleanup is.
Both
Wow.
great cleanups.
Why do I feel like I'm watching the same stream almost? Really amazing cleanups for both runners. But the sync is insane. It's so wonderful. And both of them
hate this.
It's what?
Rhino hates to see sync. He likes to see variation.
Wait, that's so strange. I think sync is really wonderful because it's nice comparison. Both runners going to talk to Sly. Really noticing both of them are on low health here. They gotta watch out. Oh my goodness gracious. Both runners taking a death. This is big. I wonder how this will affect the run. The answer is very positively, as the runners will then use their shade to shade skip to the blue lake. Let's see some lovely wall cling storage here, hopefully.
Storage.
Peepo arrive. Jinky arrive. Yes!
Herb does 1/ slow. I do not know that setup that Slow just did.
Interesting. I love wall cling storage. It's so cute. It makes me really happy.
HK slide.
The 0/ setup.
Yeah, 0/ is wild.
Yeah. And we will see the runners head into the most difficult platforming section in the entire game. Don't let people tell you it's Path of Pain. It's the Dream platforms.
Dream plats are indeed harder than Path of Pain.
It's true. And they cause you more pain, significantly, because falling in them just feels awful.
Alright, here's a fun fact from Birdie. Not in the chat right now, but she likes to mention it. Did you know that if you fall in Dream plats on a hitless run, it counts as a hit?
Is this because the, like, hitless boards people are a bit silly?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. The hitless boards are managed by people who I believe mostly play Souls games and other FromSoft games, and they just sort of like put Hollow Knight in there. Nothing against the people on the hitless boards, very lovely, but it is from outside the community, and I think it's a bit strange that it counts as a hit, but I get where they're coming from.
Alright, we're gonna see Seer Skip here, one of the goofiest tricks in the run.
Oh yes, I too get out of bed like this. If you don't wake up like this every day, you are not the Hollow Knight. But both runners are the Hollow Knight. So we're good and cool. And we will be heading back down and around. See if people go for the fancy, yes, the very lovely wall cling
Nice
storage
walking
here.
storage on both sides.
Yes, very nice. And we'll be taking the elevator. 59 into the elevator, 5982. So slow is just about 5.5 seconds ahead at this juncture. And they will be grabbing that seal as part of our continued geo-routing towards the Lumafly Lantern, which we're going to need to enter peak after the Watcher Knights. But we've got Watcher Knights coming up. Overclock, what are your feelings on the Watcher Knights in any percent?
Watcher Knights are probably my third favorite low gear fight.
All
I
right, give us the
really love
top
to
three.
fight them with any percent gear. Lost Kin, Hornet 2, and Watchers.
Oh, Lostkin. Oh, I have low gear Lostkin trauma, but that's acceptable. I really admire that. I do want to turn everybody's attention. Both of the runners have just beaten the most difficult boss in the game, the Gorgeous Husk. So difficult they didn't even include it in the pantheons because it would be too difficult for people to be expected to beat regularly. But it is good that they can get their 420 geo. Yeah, Watcher Knight's definitely a fun fight on low gear. Can also be a really frustrating fight.
Now, when you're trying to go fast, it becomes
When
a
you're
lot
trying to
more
go fast
frustrating.
and they just start going bouncy bouncy. Um,
Yeah,
it
playing
can
casual low gear, it's really fun. Playing for speed, it's
not as fun.
painful.
And it can be very frustrating because you can do everything right and end up losing a lot of health and getting in a dangerous situation. So hopefully both runners will have a nice fight, but this is one of the first points in the run where things can go seriously awry. Even for a runner with a lot of skill and practice, though skill and practice is, of course, always helpful.
This is one of the biggest RNG checks in the entire run, actually.
Yes.
Umu is definitely more punishing and less controllable, but Watchers have so many different variations that can really screw stuff up.
Yeah, and the fact that you effectively have to do the same fight over and over again as you kill them just
Yeah.
really creates an extra layer of frustration. It's like Umu is defined RNG that is uncontrollable and annoying, but at a few specific points, whereas Watchers is just very consistent, like different varieties of RNG procking and combining into each other in a way that can be very frustrating. But for Slow is out of here. That was really nice, and he had
There's
very few
Serp as
issues, and it
well.
looks like Serp's out of here as well. So for as much ranting as we've done about how annoying Watchers can be, both runners handled them very well. I guess that was a reverse comms curse. Good job, us. Let's keep this up. Yeah, really nice fight from Slow. And yeah, he does extend his lead at the Watcher's exit to about 13 seconds. Thank you so much, Chris, for keeping track of the time. And we will say goodbye to Lurian. Bye, Lurian.
So, as someone who plays exclusively current patch, it is always weird to see these cutscenes just being entirely skippable.
Yes, the skippable cutscenes, the inventory drops, the I'm just going to hit the lever from under the floor because that's how it works in Watcher's Spire. You know,
Lever
just a
skips are
few
so
differences.
goofy.
Lever skips
Nice
are
walking
so
storage from
goofy.
Slow.
Yeah, really nice.
Serp does not
There's a
goof
lot of
it.
goof on this patch. Yes. There's a lot of goof on this patch. We don't even get to see all of it. In all skills, you get some really silly, different lever skips. But even still here, there's plenty of 1221 spaghetti that we get to slurp up to our advantage. Gorgeous little wall cling storage from Serp there as well. And they're
Very
going
nice
to be
chain.
Yeah, so satisfying. And they are going to be heading down to sell to Lem, because capitalism is a component of the going fast strategy here in
Serb gets
Hallownest.
the Walton storage in the wrong direction.
Very unfortunate, but stylish. All right, let's see this
And
rafter
slow
skip
into
from slow.
rafters. Misses right
Oh,
side, just
unfortunate. We'll
barely.
have to go for the left side backup. Very close though.
Nice
And
left
nice
side backup.
execution. Yeah. Oh,
Serb
Serp
gets right
gets the right
side.
side. That's really nice. And really awesome how she was able to like keep going despite getting kind of tossed around there. Um, so that will make her up a little bit of time um, as she heads down for that Lem cell.
Mashing simulator.
Yes, I love my keyboard simulator. Maybe I should just out of sympathy. There we
Yo.
go. The Herm typing is back. Um, yeah, Chris pointing out that the rafters, I think, was the first differentiation in a skip. The first time that they either did not both hit or both miss a skip. So on one health, Peepo arrive, but just has to go on a nice walk. See, the thing is, I've played so much randomizer that whenever I see the water in King's Station, I'm like, no, you can't touch
Yeah.
that. You're going to die. You're on one mask. But actually, the
Why do
water doesn't
you have
kill you in
swim
this
by
game.
default?
Yes, swim is a skill that actually is given to you at the beginning of the game. And we will see that lovely stag fireball to summon ye old stag right here. And we will have our departure into, in my opinion, one of the most satisfying sections of the run to watch in Crystal Peak.
Yeah, Peak is so fun to watch with just
Yeah.
how much movement there is.
It's one of those things where, unlike some other sections of the run where it's a lot about adaptability, Peak is very much just about the consistency of being able to go in there and execute your set of moves and just go fast. And I love that. I think that's peak speedrunning. And I
Here
think
is
that's probably why
debatably
it's called
the
peak.
most annoying room
That is
in
the worst
any
room.
percent.
The worst room. It is
I hate it.
so
3
terrible.
furious Vengeflies, it's so annoying.
That room was designed by the devil himself. I'm fully convinced. Not Team Cherry. There was like a momentary possession, and then they designed that room and just were like, okay, that's fine, and they went back to the rest of the game. Alright, so slow moving up into this room, going for that Pog Axe. Let's
Nice
see it.
Pog
Very
Axe.
nice. We'll see it from Serp pretty soon. I'm wondering what has put Serp behind to this degree, as it seemed pretty close previously. Serp unfortunately missing the Pogax, but getting it the second time. Very nice. Slow up through the crystal, the laser room. I forget if they're crystal crawlers or not. I think they're different.
I believe they are crystal collars.
Okay, I've got it. I'm not washed. Ooh, nice God Pixel by Serp.
Nice.
Very, very clean movement through that room. And we'll be heading up and then heading down, because this area is just really big and has lots of vertical drops, to do everybody's favorite, the Crystal Heart platforming.
Alright. Moffity Fireball. Nice.
Excellent. And we're going to see that damage tank that is the cycle that these runners are accustomed to doing, although there is a damageless cycle in case of either emergency or for comfies. We see a gorgeous underplat from Slow. That is what you really do love to see. I'm a huge underplat enjoyer.
Underplat is so satisfying.
Right? It's just like, oh yeah.
So consistent.
Right?
It's
Oh,
just
so nice.
nice.
It's an underplat for the soul.
Yeah.
if I fall ill, I won't, drink soup. I'll just watch videos of runners doing underplat and I will heal. Um, both runners now having the crystal heart. It looks like Serp is going to be approximately 20 seconds behind slow here, but really anything can change. We have still got Umu.
It
Um,
is about time we pray to Umu.
it is about time we pray to. Did you know that since Chinese and Japanese use a lot of the same characters, if you read Umu's name as it appears on the screen in Japanese, it reads Fuyo Zetsubo, which means useless hope.
That's amazing.
It actually means, sorry, useless despair. I apologize. It means useless despair, which is the funniest thing. Sort of unfortunately taking a little hit there, and has to slow down.
Usual trying to only drop from slow.
Oh yeah, that was really satisfying. I'm starting to put the SL in front of everything. If it's slow and it's satisfying, I guess that would be slow-disfying, not slatisfying. But yes, we are going to be heading into archives to participate in Useless Despair. Would you like to talk about the exact pains of the Umu RNG?
So,
Yes.
when Umu attacks, there is a 50-50 chance between it doing a slow attack and a fast attack. A fast attack, I believe, is around 3 seconds, while a slow attack is around 8. Umu cannot perform the same attack more than 2 times in a row. So, the optimal RNG is 2 fast, 1 slow, and no extra attack, which has, if I recall correctly, a 1 in 4 chance to occur.
Which is actually exactly what Slow just got. Yeah, very
and
nice on
then
his
after
part.
that, it would be 2 more fast and no extras, which we have a slow out of the slow Umu.
Yeah, Surf getting much worse RNG here. But hopefully we won't see an extra.
The 2 cycle with the
Yeah, that was a
best
great.
possible RNG.
Yeah, that was really like the Umu you want to get. Serp heading into this second cycle here.
Gets another slow.
Another slow.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. We'll see.
There's an extra.
An extra. Really unfortunate for Serp. And this Umu just sucks because it's completely out of your control. Thankfully does finish it off. It was a little bit worried because those doubles weren't coming through. But does get out of Umu. Escaping the prison.
There are consistent setups to each variation of, like, it's a lot to memorize though. Like,
yeah, and I'm sure she has it down.
Variations.
But nonetheless, it is probably a good feeling to get out of there, even if it will be some time loss in comparison. Being done with Umu and still getting the 2-cycle Umu is definitely a blessing.
Alright, according to Kara, Serp is only around 4 seconds behind PB right now. So we could actually see a
fantastic.
Serp here.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to say that, like, Serp has been racing incredibly well. I mean, Slow, like, does have a PB over a minute faster than hers, and she has really been keeping pace for much of this run, outside of having some, like, suboptimal, Umu RNG, especially. And I just think that it shows Serp doesn't run any percent as much as some other categories, but as somebody who has been a friend and fan for a long time, I just gotta say, I have a massive admiration for her tenacity as a runner and her dedication to practicing through so many different categories.
The acid. I think she's gonna bench here.
Yeah, I think she'll probably have to take the safety bench. Because this is just a very dangerous section. Mantis Petra are my least favorite enemy in the entire game, personally.
Yeah, Petras suck.
I
dislike Devout more, but Petras suck.
They shoot Satan's frisbee at you and laugh. And
Yeah.
I find that completely unacceptable and frankly morally reprehensible. Serp gets QGA, we didn't even talk about QGA, but not an easy skip at all, as somebody who has sat for a literal hour multiple times trying to get QGA and not
Yeah.
gotten it.
One of the hardest acid skips in the game.
For sure, and not as fun as one that is arguably harder in Kingdom's Edge Acid Skip. So
Kingdom's Edge acid skip is kinda brutal.
I actually really like it. That's my toxic trait, though. Serp dueling
Serp
with
does not get
the
the
Archers
double
of
double
Satan's
on the
Frisbee. Yeah, does not,
headquarters.
unfortunately. But is able to go and do this dunk. That's another 1-2-1 special. Somehow teleports you through the entire platforming section.
Yeah,
And
the hazard respawn is a bit too big there.
yeah, we've finally got the Society Rhino Feeder wanted and are seeing different things on our screens as Slow heads into Beasten, though Serp is well on her way.
Alright, so we are going to see Den quit out of both of our runners here.
Yes. Oh no. Yeah, Serp gonna take that heal there.
Too much knockback there.
Yeah,
It's a good
very
heal
unfortunate.
take.
This section, according to Slow, is his favorite section of the game. Down to Trap Bench. So I guess it was, as he's already here now. But I think that he did state an appreciation for Beasten as well.
Serp is about to give us a heart attack.
Yep.
Hate the spider
Personally,
there.
I am having one currently. Very nice fireball. And we are
Serp is safe.
pretty much home free. God bless. That required confidence, but it was very admirable.
Rub, yo.
In the chat saying there's a lot of things I shouldn't have done this run. But yeah, Slow really gaming. Gonna kill Hera here and head into THK. Has run an extremely consistent race. I mean, both of these runners talk to us about how important consistency is to them, and they have both shown that they are very consistent. So, no false advertising claims here.
So you could see on Slow's screen there, the masks from the two other Dreamers were still there. That is because of the cutscene skips that were done earlier.
Oh, wait, I didn't even clock that until I saw the 3 masks and was like, what's up with that? That is so funny. Yeah, so we're now approximately 1 Beasten apart. Serp heading on up to greet Miss Hera. Particularly that devout in particular. Giving us another heart attack and a blessing. Once again, fortune favors the Serp.
Alright, Slow on his way to THK. Can we get some Hollow Ds or Horse Ds, whichever you prefer, in chat?
Or Hollow Demus for the Christmas edition, if you're feeling festive in the middle of March for no reason. And yeah, we're going to see the THK fight. Would you like to give us a little overview of what will be in store for us today, Overclock?
Alright, so we have two very annoying attacks that THK can do. Before the self-stab phase, it can parry, which will lose you a second, and it's just generally painful to deal with.
Yes.
And once you reach the third phase, it will be able to self-stab, which reduces all damage dealt to it to 1 during the duration of the attack.
Super
Which is
fun and
super
very
slow.
good for speedrunning. Yeah, it's really bad. You want to see as little of it as possible, really. There's one of those parries that we've been talking about. Those get really annoying when they get stacked up in succession and you just feel like you're being laughed at.
Yeah.
There's another one.
That happened like 3 times in a row sometimes.
It doesn't even make sense when it keeps happening in a row.
Yeah.
There's the self-stab in the beginning of the third phase that happens, I believe, every single time.
There's another self-stab. That's a
That
long
another self-stab
too.
is really annoying.
Yeah, being a current patch player, I am so used to those fire pillars doing double damage.
As am I. In fact, the last time I was on commentary, I was like,
first
you
level.
gotta watch out for the pillars because they deal double damage. And then somebody was like,
Nice
actually,
screen
that's
skip
not the
there.
case. Very nice scream skip.
And
And that's gonna
GG
be
for slow.
GG.
So
That will be fairly
that's
close to
mid-32,
PB.
very close.
Mid 32 in a race, extremely impressive. What a consistent run. A really commanding performance from him today. At the same time, we're going to see Serp finishing up in short order, and she has also fought incredibly well today. (32-33), only 8 seconds off of PB. That is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serp definitely cooking. Blues is right. Going into this phase, hopefully we're not going to see much more self-stabbing now that we've gotten the initial one out of the way.
Nice
Getting the fountain
Love to see
attack,
it.
very nice to have the boss stay in one place and just let you hit it as much as you want.
Yeah.
We'll not be able to go for
Can be
screen
a
skip
bit
here.
scary though.
Yes, also can be a major source of yield damage tank.
Yeah.
Oh
no!
Oh, that was so unlucky.
That's rough.
That's really unfortunate. Oh god, that was such a nice fight. It's just unfortunate because really if it gone for any other attack, she would
Yeah.
have been fine. It just was the exact one attack that put her in that trouble spot. But we're going to see... Hey, at least we get to see Serp be really good at this fight one more time.
Yeah.
Even if it is under the saddest of circumstances. And we're already back into the third phase. Serp taking a safety heal there, very understandable. Especially because you really like to go for that scream skip into the fourth phase. It saves you a decent amount of time.
Yeah. Healing during
also
the
just-
initial self-stab can save time if you're on 2 HP for the scream skip later.
Yeah, correct. And it's much easier to take incidental damage in the third and fourth phase compared to the first and second because of, especially of the balloon attack. Nice scream skip from Serp there. Oh, I don't want to say anything that will jinx it. Unfortunate little self-stabbing there. And there we go. That is going to be GG.
There's GG.
Fantastic job by both runners. And really props to Serp for the tenacity of finishing that out, even after a super frustrating late THK death. Um, we'll see if they want to come in for an interview. Slow off buying maps, I have no idea. And Serpil finished with a 36:01, really respectable time, and really was running on a much faster pace than that time would tell you. Only stopped by that unfortunate last death.
Actually, I think Slow thought he had enough geo there because the initial purchase for the map is 30 geo, but it gets upcharged in Isoda's shop.
Oh, so true. So, if anybody in the chat has questions they want to ask the runners, you're welcome to pass them our way and we will convey them.
And here they are.
GG to both of you. What a race.
Yeah, that was very close for like a lot of the race. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yo, we hit two cycle and missed every jump off forever.
Well, I wanted like say props to you, sir, for fighting through with that THK at the end. We were so heartbroken when that slashing attack came out. Because both of you told me in the interview beforehand, you know, I'm a runner that values consistency. I prefer consistency. And what we got was just like 33 minutes of absolute consistency. It was so awesome to watch.
Yeah. Chris says her favorite part of the run was the two of you both missing the green path boulder kill.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Chris is so
I didn't-
supportive.
Yeah, it was funny because for a time, both of you would miss or get the exact same skips. It wasn't until City Rafters, when Serp got
Yeah.
right side and Slow had to go for the left side, that you actually differed in what skips you did or didn't miss. Though I think, Serp, you were second try on E-Pogo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so you
I
had
was third try.
Slow was third try, so that was one other tiny difference. But for a while, it was like even you had the exact same amount of geo. It was kind of uncanny in the best way.
Yeah.
I think we had the same geo like get on the way into Den as well, probably.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think I spotted it. Also, the fun fact about that right rafters is that I lost so much time doing it that I might as well just have gone for left rafters.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh, that's so
I messed
sad.
up the hard part, which is the part afterwards when you just have to
Yeah.
go something.
The
Oh,
not
yeah.
cooperate
The actual
very
skip
well.
is so free. Like what? And then you have to go up, and there's like the flying enemy is never in the right place. It's, ah!
Those enemies are the worst. They are out to get you.
Yeah.
So I've been asking this as a custom. How many runs and resets do you have in this category?
Ooh.
Find that out.
On these splits, 47 finished runs, 241 attempts.
Wow.
You know what? True. I can probably check like that, can't I? Is it on title? Yeah, it's on title. 24 finished, 197 attempts.
That's so many
Nice.
for both of you.
Yeah.
I admire it tremendously. I mean, that is just... What? I guess my question would be like, what do you feel like if you're talking to people who are, you know, new to the community or getting into speedrunning? What do you think that like running that much has taught you? It could be anything, just about mentality, about the game. What have you learned?
Finish runs.
Finish
Don't
runs,
reset.
and it's
Don't
okay
reset
to
your
reset sometimes as well.
Also true.
Finishing runs.
If you're
Yeah.
not having fun doing a run, then it's okay to reset that run. And then you can come back with a stronger mentality and like reset less later once you've like learned to have more fun with less good runs.
True.
And as you improve, you get less bad runs overall as well. But you know.
Also, practice late game because late game is really cool.
You
Ooh.
did say it was your favorite part, and then you did it like so well, and it was so satisfying to watch. So thank you to both of you for not having false advertising about the things you liked, because it was really great to watch you do them.
Yeah, I got a dead
Hey,
goal.
I
That was
practiced
pretty
late
cool.
game as well. Sorry.
No, your late game was also great.
It was so bad. It was so painful.
It was great to me.
Oh, thank you. Okay, slow. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's slow, just like-
I got a den gold. It was,
Oh, you got a den gold.
yeah.
Oh, GG's. That's fantastic. It was a really clean den.
Yeah, there was like one
Yeah.
mistake. And then the rest of it was
The
really-
32-33 being that close to your PB. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, that is an
Yeah, I was plus
absolutely insane
20.
waste of time.
I was plus 20 after claw. Which
Oh,
is
really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yo,
going to
was
my-
that a 107 with a
30s
quit
just-
out?
Yeah.
Nice.
What was the major time save then? Was it Umu as well?
Well, in my actual PB, my 32-16, I lost like 7 seconds in Scream. So that was pretty
Oh,
much the
okay.
difference.
Ah.
I was pretty much
Oh,
equal.
yeah.
I was like equal until Scream, and then I saved 7 seconds.
Gotcha. But yeah, huge GGs on the Glod, especially. That is so cool. I think we'll probably wrap up soon, but if folks have other questions, or if runners and Overclock have other things they'd like to say, this would be a great time. Epic.
All
This
right.
was
In
so
that
silent.
case,
All right.
In that case, I would like to thank both Serp and Slow for giving us a fantastic show today. I would like to thank the wonderful restreamer and essentially in-race timer, helping our commentary so much, Chris Chrysanthemove, who's also going to be restreaming the next match on this channel. Get excited for that. And I would like to thank the lovely and very, very knowledgeable Overclock for making this commentary fantastic and based in facts and knowledge rather than just vibes.
Yeah,
We
thanks
can
to
restream from dance.
Hans.
Oh wait, sorry, not this next one. Chris
Yeah.
is definitely restreaming next week though.
Amber, next one.
Well,
Oh yeah.
preemptive thanks to Amber.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for coming.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for being good at the game, Slow.
No, you.
And thanks
Okay.
to chat
You're
for
both
being
amazing
cute.
at the game.
Yes, very true.